Want candy now?
What is going on, everybody? Nasdorachi coming back at you today with another episode of
Dragon Ball Z.
No, just kidding. We're doing another episode for Legends here. We're covering the brand new Ultra Space Time banner number 3 that dropped overnight. So
Stay tuned.
as we jump right in to cover this hot new banner RNG madness here, it's probably not going to go well, but you never know. Hopefully we'll have some good luck. And today we are going to review all the new cards, talk about all of them, give you guys kind of an in-depth look at all the new units and some possible team theory that we can use with these new guys here. We also have Broken Arm down in the other corner, camera can't see. Vegeta, Super Saiyan Vegeta, is returning on this banner, even though his banner is still active, technically for me, for another 15 hours. So he's making his way out of the game and then right back into the game on the new banner here. But other than that, there are 4 new sparking units. And I was actually surprised by this. They only announced 2 of them, obviously 17 and 18 we knew about. But the Heart Virus Goku and really the MVP for me, looking like Krillin, were complete surprises. I didn't see any data mines and they weren't in the V-Jump scan, so I don't know about you guys. But we're going to jump right in and cover all of this. Now, one thing that is important to note before we kind of jump into everything is that all the other changes that we were expecting have not come out yet. So they were talking about increasing the level cap to 1500, the next wave of the story, and you know, all those things we saw were skip tickets will give a little bit of experience. All of those changes are coming in the next version update. So right now we are in version 1.10.1, and those changes will roll out again with the next actual app update. So for now, overnight, the only thing new that we have to worry about is this new banner here. And as well, there is a new sale in the shop, a starter pack like the other ones we've seen for the new Goku again. But we have mixed feelings about him so far, so we're going to get into that in a second. Let's jump in and look at the 2 androids here, because they are going to be the first ones that we knew about. Of course, I showed you guys earlier the arm breaker combo. It's got a couple of extra added benefits that we're going to check out when we actually look through her stats here in a second. But of course, you guys know that there are many arms to be broken in this game, so we're going to try and grab her, and hopefully 17 as well, so that we can start doing that. Now, it's interesting that both of these new androids cards, their Z abilities, so their team buff, their team viability, is actually not androids based. I was kind of expecting it to be, but no, they are both supporters of their own color type for 17, and 18 is another female character. So let's jump in here, check out the stats. She is, I didn't even look, she's a melee type. I remember that because I already covered it. So her strike attack is significantly higher than her blast attack, and at value seen there, it's actually pretty good. Not the highest in the game, but pretty dang good. Stuff I'm looking at here, critical is pretty good. Her defensive stats are okay, but she can definitely take a blast attack better than a strike attack, and her key restore speed just kind of average. She's an android saga and a female character, and she's a strike type with 2 yellow cards. Again, I don't really like that. I'd like my strike type characters to come with strike cards, so you're gonna have to bring someone else to offset this. I really don't know how this factors in, because when you go to PvP and you drop down to only bringing 3 characters, it seems like you always get 3 red, 3 yellow, and 1 blue and 1 green. So I don't really know how that factors in yet, but she has the twins category. I'm trying to think who else in the series would have the twins category. Let me know down in the comments who else you think from Dragon Ball is going to share this tag besides 17 and 18. Like, what other twins are there? I don't have the time to think about that right now, but I'm sure I could come up with some. But in the meantime, let me know down below. And stats here, you know, she's a good card. We kind of do really want her just for something new to show off for content for you guys. Both impact damage types on the red and yellow cards there, so fairly standard. She can teach the Power Blitz to Shallot, and it is a straightforward, straight line attack similarly to the Kamehameha. Deals major explode damage, and it buffs her own key recovery for 10 timer counts. So I'd like to have seen a buff to her strike damage on this, but key recovery is not bad. You can still use it to use the sidestep technique to chain a lot of red cards together if you get lucky enough that they keep showing up in your hand. The green card, Infinite Energy Reactor, plus 15 to strike damage inflicted for 15 timer counts, and -5 to own strike arts cost for 10. That's a pretty good green card right there. Probably not going to be as good as Android 17's Bubble Shield, but it buffs what she needs it to buff, and it takes the cost off the cards, similarly to Super Saiyan Vegeta's main ability, but she can do this repetitively throughout the battle. So I do like that, and again, she's a pretty good character. I'm wanting this deadly pair here. So the Deadly Dance is the Arm Breaker combo, major impact damage, +5 to enemy substitution count for 15 timer counts. I actually really like that. So just like she breaks their arm, they actually suffer a debilitating condition for, only 15 timer counts, but it actually goes and adds 5 seconds to the timers when they want to swap characters out. Like, initially they can swap the character out, but then to get that character back in, it's going to be 5 extra seconds, and then if they swap to their third character, then both of their other characters are going to be penalized. So this is a good way to kind of set people up to get stuck in a situation where you have type advantage and they have a type disadvantage. So I like that effect right there. Going through her abilities real quick here. The main ability, nothing special. It's just going to draw the ultimate arts technique. It's exactly the same as Broly, Trunks, Super Saiyan Goku, and every other card in the game that has one of these so far. The Z ability, what I was talking about earlier, her team buffs do nothing to benefit androids whatsoever. It's 24% to female warrior-based strike, attack, and defense, which is great for female warriors. In the future, female warriors, I believe, is going to be a great team. When we get Kale, Caulifla, Kefla, potentially Android 21, we'll be able to have a pretty reasonable female warriors team here. So I'm not going to sleep on that. Well, maybe I'm going to sleep on it for now. We'll take a nap on it because there's only 2 female cards in the game, so at least they synergize well with each other, and you can kind of run a hybrid team with females and maybe hybrid Saiyans, because that would throw some benefits towards Pan, and we get Trunks, you can give him some room on a team. So I think that would be good for team theory for Android 18 outside of a purely Androids team, because even though 17 and 18 do not provide benefits to the androids themselves, the Hero and EX Android 19 and 20 both do, so you want them on the bench for Android 17 and 18. And we haven't seen Android 16 yet. We don't know what he's going to do. So the full Androids team is definitely still viable and an option if you guys are lucky, get all the new cards, and you want to run it. So I like it, but just know that 17 and 18 are selfish unless you're running them on a color-themed team. Then they're going to provide their benefits. Unique ability, Android Key Recovery Plus. So similarly to her blue card, which buffs her Key Recovery, the unique ability, plus 20% to own Key Recovery when tag Android is a battle member. So this is one reason why you'd want to run 17 and 18 together. It works with their mechanics since they're androids and they have unlimited endurance. When you run them together, or at least with Android 19 or 20 right now, you will get that effect there. So she also gets 20% bonus damage to Saiyans. Makes perfect sense. She breaks Vegeta's arm and sets up this whole arm-breaking precedent that we have going on here. So I can totally see that. Moving on to 17, and of the two, I think that without touching the card, because I don't know what the hidden effects are, I think 18 has the cooler card art out of the two, just at face value. So 17 here, no ultimate arts technique, but he's highly defensive, he's a ranged blast type, and he gets bubble shields. It's also important to note that, like Dr. Gero, his blue card is not a straight line attack. It is an AoE in the front 2 rows, so it will not affect the furthest back row, and you're going to get that AoE attack. So you can bait people into vanishing, and it's not going to help them out with this if they try and vanish your blue card. They're going to dodge right into it and get hit, which is the one reason why I kind of like special moves that are set up that way. So checking him out here again, he's defense type who favors ranged or blast attack. We'll see that here reflected in the stats with 33k strike attack and 38k blast attack. Defense is fairly well higher than Android 18, and it's balanced. It's perfectly balanced. As we could seen with 18, she had, I believe, better defense versus blast attack and then weaker versus strike, or one of the two. Either way, there was I think a 5,000 plus points difference between her two defensive values. His critical is very similar to 18's as well. It is only in the 1700 range, and key restore speed is lower, I believe, than Android 18's. He comes with balanced cards in his hand, so I do prefer this, seeing, a red and a yellow card, but, he would benefit from the two yellows more than Android 18 would, but he doesn't get them. And, of course, he also has the Android and Twins category, but no females category. Both impact on strike and blast, so nothing out of the ordinary there. The special move we kind of already covered with the area of effect that it covers, but causes enemies to receive 20% more strike damage for 15 timer counts. So this is kind of a sneakily hidden in there buff for Android 18. So you'd use this blue card with 17, switch into Android 18, and she's going to see the benefit from this. So here's another kind of little kind of Easter egg reason as to why you'd want to use them together. Also, almost a 50% chance to paralyze, which is not faint. It's different. So this is not the same stun mechanic. So next up here, we have the green card, the barrier shield that everyone's been pretty much hyped for since seeing it in the V-Jump scan. So we nullify enemy attacks, and we do see here that it does not work on the Rising Rush. I'm going to assume that it works on everything else, including blue cards, Ultimate Arts cards, possibly the body change as well with Ginyu. I'll have to play test and see, but for now I'm just going to assume that it does work with all of those. So it won't work with the Rising Rush again, but if the enemy is at close range, so red card or blue card for Pikkon, for example, where he does the knee rush, and then Ultimate Arts would be Broly, Trunks, Goku, how they all dive in, Frieza too, to tackle the opponent before doing the move. I'm assuming it's going to work with that, and all that, it's going to knock them back to the long range state. And there is one downside to just spamming out this green card. So for the first time that you use it, your special arts are going to go up by 5 cost. Then the second time they're going to go up 5 more, and the third time they're going to go up 5 more. So it seems like this is a permanent debuff here as well. There's no timer on this. So the more you use it, the more the cost is going to go up on your special arts. So keep that in mind. It's going to be kind of a way to prevent him from being super spammy. And other than that, he's super solid. And we've seen those cool little synergies between him and 18 as to why you kind of want to pair them up. So 17's main ability here, draw a special arts card next. Causes enemy to receive 35% more blast damage for 20 timer counts. This works for him since he does tend to favor blast arts, and drawing the special arts card is just like an ace in the sleeve, so you can kind of set up the enemy to be forced into a situation where you can counter it and you get a little freebie there. So it also has a 15-second delay, so 10 seconds less than Android 18's ability to throw hers out, and really good utility on that. Not a 50% buff like Vegeta gets, but you do get 2 effects there instead of 1. Z ability, again, selfish for the androids as a whole, but great for your kind of mono purple theme teams or hybrid purple and red. So 24% to purple blast attack and defense. This is great for Saiyan Saga Vegeta. It's great for Turles. It's even good for Spirit Bomb Goku, the one-handed one. So great kind of bench or active character on a purple themed team, but the other androids, the abilities, are going to have to provide your buffs for him, and he's not going to help them out too much. 25% to blast damage inflicted when 3 battle members are left. So unlike Android 18, who has an androids themed unique ability here, he does not. So this is just something where you're going to have to play with the numbers on your team. 3 battle members are left, I'm assuming, is if 1 of yours are dead and 2 of theirs are dead. I'm assuming it's not 3 teammates. That would be different wording. And cover, reduced damage. Reduced damage 40% until combo ends when changing cover. 20% to strike damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. And +3 to own substitution count when activated. So he is very similar to Trunks and Piccolo leaning more towards Trunks because Trunks also buffs damage output when he subs in. But this is that mechanic that we've seen. Very good tanking mechanic where if you're getting beat up in mid-combo, you'll sub him in. He will take significantly reduced damage and buff some damage for himself as well. I believe he gives himself a good little bit more than what Trunks gives himself on this too. I might be wrong there, but I think 20% is higher than what Trunks gets. So checked out Android 17 right there. Both of them are great. I would love to have both of them and build an Android's team with 18, 17, 16 whenever he comes. I think he will probably be on a banner with maybe Piccolo and Imperfect Cell, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Next up are the 2 surprise cards that were not announced. And holy crap, this card art for Krillin is amazing. By far, this is my favorite card art out of all of the new cards on this banner. You got Perfect Cell in the background, and Krillin actually looks badass in this frame, this still that they've set him up in here. I don't even know what the background effects are, but I'm already sold on the card as it is. Now, the only thing I could say about it is I don't remember really Krillin squaring up with Perfect Cell in any type of memorable way, but it's kind of teasing things to come, so I'm not going to complain. And he doesn't use a Destructo Disc. He's got the rising Kamehameha style Ki Blast that rains down on the enemy. So again, very similar to Android 17, it's only going to affect those front 2 rows, and it's not going to be a straight line attack, but very cool. I would actually love to pull this Krillin, even for my red Super Saiyan Goku synergy. Awesome. And he's a blue card too, so kind of different than the red and purple. I think red, purple, and maybe a green Krillin, something like that. But definitely red and purple, I think, are the other two, or red and green. The stats here, looking at, wow, much higher blast attack than strike attack. So he's definitely range type, as you can see at the top. 10k more on that blast attack. And his blast attack is actually pretty good. The androids, neither of their stats, I thought, topped. Look back and look at that. I don't think either of the android stats topped. Yeah. Krillin is coming out stronger than Android 17. 2,000 more blast attack almost. And Android 18 here, she's close on the strike attack, but Krillin here, wow, coming out with really good stats there on the blast attack anyway. Alright, so defensively speaking, he is lower than Android 17 by far, but I guess that's to be expected. Plus, you may want him to die first anyway to trigger the Super Saiyan Goku passive. God, another example here of why is this happening. So we have a range type with 2 red cards instead of 2 yellows, or at least yellow-red. So that's a little frustrating. And tag Super Warrior, so to be expected there. Impact and Impact, so nothing out of the ordinary for the regular arts cards there. The Diffusion Blast, again, we kind of covered that. It does the front 2 rows only and won't affect that far back row, but great for vanish baiting and hitting them anyway. And it will add 10% to critical rate for 20 seconds, so a little crit buff there. Critical rate, not critical damage, so you'll get a 20% chance to how often, or sorry, 10% chance to how often you crit for 20 seconds. And of course, green card, we have seen this before, the Solar Flash, causes enemies to receive 20% more blast damage for 20 timer counts and inflicts Flash. So Flash is just like stun as well. They have Faint, they have Paralyze, they have Flash. I'm assuming that all 3 of these are just kind of synonymous with the word stun. So that's what I'm going to guess there. I mean, I know the Solar Flare is. It just makes them go, oh my god, I can't see. And then you can get a free action on them. Very similar to Frieza's green card, but just kind of looks different. And it might have a different little... No, that's even the same activation range for most of them, that I know of anyway. Definitely the same as Cooler's. Alright, so abilities here. Glimmer of Hope. Restores ally health by 20% and cancels a tribute downgrade. So I'm assuming that's like the bleed mechanic. It'll nullify that and stop people from bleeding out. Very similar to Piccolo, the Sparking Piccolo. So he not only heals himself, but he heals everybody else. Piccolo's is 25%. So Piccolo is a little bit of a better healer, but we all know in Dragon Ball Z that Krillin comes packing all the Senzu beans. So this is perfectly acceptable main ability for our boy Krillin here. I really want this card. I love the card art on it. And also, minus 100% to enemy key recovery for 5 timer counts. That is quite powerful, even though it doesn't last very long. If you see the enemy spam out a combo, you heal immediately. They're stuck with no key for 5 seconds and just kind of have to sit there with their thumb up their butt and just kind of react to you and hope they can vanish away from whatever you have planned for them. So that is really, really cool there, you guys. I'm definitely excited about this main ability and just this Krillin card in general. 24% to blue strike and blast defense during battle. So he will help synergize with all your blue units, make them a little bit more tanky, add a little bit of survivability there. Will help the blue Spirit Bomb Goku. I mean, he's already tanky, so it'll raise him up even a little bit more because he actually could use it. Unique ability, Team Goku Health Restore Plus. Restore own health by 25% when Goku is on the team as well. So, a little bit selfish, but if Goku is on the team when he uses his main ability, or I'm assuming as well if Sparking Piccolo is on the team as well, if Piccolo heals, any healing that's going to go to him is going to be increased by 25%. So it'll help keep Krillin alive a little bit longer since his stats are a little squishy comparatively speaking to Sparking 17 anyway. Unique ability 2, Inflicted Damage Plus. 15% damage inflicted for 10 timer counts when characters are switched. So he gets a little bit of damage buff for 10 timer counts whenever characters... That's a really good kind of unique ability when he's kind of in battle. Now remember, unique abilities, the character has to be in the fight. Z abilities, the character can be on the bench and still provide those benefits to the team. So Krillin, kind of the MVP, the silent underdog MVP for me on the banner. I really like that card. And then we have, last but not least here, Super Saiyan Goku. He was featured in the pack that you can buy from the store, so you don't necessarily have to have good luck to get him here. But again, there's a pretty significant drawback to him. His character model looks exactly the same as the other Super Saiyan Goku that's in the game, except his shirt's not torn, and so does his Kamehameha. So we don't even really need to look at that. Card art, not super good right now in its base state, but I actually have seen the transformed or the altered card art, and it basically shows kind of in like a blood red. It's got the androids all circling him, and then Cell down in the corner. So it looks good in that sense when it's kind of had the hidden art activated. But as it is, I'm not a huge fan of that kind of web that's in the background. So his stats here, strike, attack, blast, attack, fairly well balanced, but he is a strike Goku in contrast to the red Super Saiyan Goku, who's primarily a blast or range type character. This is the in-your-face Goku right here. But overall, the stats are still pretty balanced, and they're pretty high. It's interesting that Krillin's blast attack is higher than either of Goku's attack stats, so MVP Krillin again. Defensive stats here, kind of average, a little bit higher than Krillin's, at least in the strike defense, I think, if I remember correctly. His critical and key restore speed are both a little bit higher than what we've seen from most of the other characters on the banner. And he has a good balance, red card and yellow card in his hand, with all the same tags that the other Super Saiyan Goku had, I believe. Nothing is different there. And we got Impact and Impact on both red and yellow, so nothing out of the ordinary. Super Kamehameha looks the same as every other Kamehameha in the game that Goku's can do. Major impact damage and 20% inflicted damage for 10 timer counts. So he buffs all of his damage output by 20% every time you throw out a blue card. And the green card here, 20% to own key recovery for 15 timer counts. So kind of weak on the green card there. It's definitely a useful utility, but nothing cool like Android 17 or you know, we want something cool in this slot. Just not a kind of buff you could get on a unique ability or something. Now we get to the abilities, where some of the real interesting and not necessarily good things about this card come into play. Starting at the top, the main ability, 20% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. Increase arts card draw speed 1 level for 15 timer counts. So this is very similar on the second part to Cooler's main ability, where it'll increase the rate of cards that flow into your hand, and an additional 20% damage inflicted. So he's kind of like almost a nuker style character, at least a rushdown character, where you want to combine his blue card with his main ability to get that 40% just global to his own damage, modifier going on, and then he can start to dish out some pretty significant damage, especially to purple type units, which there are plenty of now in the game as well. So this is good. Main ability here is quite good. Stackable with his other kind of buffs, and I like that one. 24% to yellow base strike and blast attack during battle. Amazing bench yellow character Z ability, or even if he's active. Just this is really good for your yellow themed teams. So the already very powerful either Pikkon or Gohan focused teams will love to see this on the bench. Like, they will really like this. The only problem is coming down here to Assault at all costs and Viral Heart Disease. Not so much Assault at all costs, that's good. He's just basically a point character like Super Saiyan Vegeta. You're going to want to start with him because he gets a lot of buffs for that first 20 seconds of battle. Similarly to the anime, if you remember when he was fighting 19, he was really strong at the beginning of the fight, and then once the heart disease started to get to him, he started to fall off pretty quickly. And that's where the debuff on this card comes into play. So, Viral Heart Disease. Minus 5% to own health for each arts card used. So every time you use a card with him, he's chipping away 5% of his own life. So you're going to want to get his main ability, which only takes 5 seconds to activate. So again, Goku is a point rushdown character. I can't even stress that enough. Everything about this character is set up for him to explode out of the gate in the beginning of the battle, throw a blue card out, use this main ability after 5 seconds, and take advantage of the minus arts cost on the unique ability here, and then he's going to very quickly fade out of usefulness because the more cards you use, he's going to hurt himself to death, and he's going to lose this buff right here. So he's actually not a bad card with all things considered. It's just the Heart Virus Goku. He's afflicted. You can see he's standing on top of Krillin's head up here, and he's not looking so good. So very interesting mechanics for this game, and I'm actually quite interested to use him because of that. But there are some very serious drawbacks to this unit that you do have to be aware of bringing him to battle. And I believe we've covered everything. He's a great bench unit because the Heart Virus won't matter if he's on the bench for a yellow team. So again, the Pikkon and Gohan yellow teams will love him on the bench. And then you don't have to worry about all this mess with these unique abilities down here. But still, he's going to be interesting to use in battle. The returning card, Super Saiyan Vegeta, his banner is still active, so we don't really need to go over him at all. And it doesn't show off any new EX units, so only the Sparkings are shown here, so we don't have any EX units to talk about. Let's make a round of daily summons and see what happens on all the cheapies here. Wow, this is a longer video too. I was hoping I would get it covered a little quicker, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. So, Poopy Doop animation there. We can skip over that. Unfortunate that that was on the new banner. Let's jump down here to Legends Rising. I still need the one-hand Spirit Bomb Goku, so I would love to see that. But with only one pod, I don't think it's going to happen. I hope you guys have great luck on all of these daily pulls. Of course, if you, for whatever reason, waited to watch this video, feel free to do them with me, and as well, comment down below and let me what you got, regardless of when you did them. So, Vegeta didn't show up. Goku got blown up there. Another hero unit. Another Tien to add to our army of Tiens here. And I guess the last banner here with 15 hours left, we'll do a daily. I hope to God Super Saiyan Vegeta does not show up right now. Which he didn't. Well, it doesn't seem like he's going to. Not with no pods, no red sky, no Super Saiyan. And we're getting beat by Frieza. So everything bad that could happen is happening. Hopefully all this bad luck on these 3 dailies means that the only 2 multi-summons I have, maybe good luck, maybe. Oh, I actually didn't have this card. So for completionary purposes, I'm actually not upset about that. Not at all. For a daily, getting a card I don't have anyway. Alright, so here's the real meat and potatoes of the summons here. I'm going to jump right in and do this fairly quickly here. Don't want to make this process any longer, any more painful than it's already going to be. So plenty of pods, no Super Saiyan, also no red sky. Oh, Goku won the physical portion of the confrontation. And we have some red text. I really hope he wins this Kamehameha. He didn't outright win it, and it blew up in the middle. So, meh. Been having... Oh, first form Cell Hero. I did not know that this card was on the banner. This is cool. This is quite cool. At least we got another new card. I didn't actually go to the characters list and look at all of the new stuff. Another Extreme Raditz. One of the oldest possible cards we could have gotten. Hey, a Sparking! And it's my boy Krillin! I'm actually happy about that. This Krillin is awesome. Yay! I really wanted him. Oh, that card art on that Goku looks quite cool. Even though it's a hero unit, I kind of like that striking pose there. And another one. So, interesting turn of events. We didn't end up with either of the androids, so far anyway. But the card that I did say that I wanted the most happened to show up. So, I'm not super mad about that. At least it's something new to play with, and his card art's really cool. You might have to check that out real quick. Another large grouping of pods with no Super Saiyan and Green Sky, so it's quite similar to the last run here. It's actually identical so far. Beat out Frieza there, and red text, so it's really feeling like deja vu here. Oh, but we won! So, I'm not even gonna... No negative, nothing negative. We won the struggle. That is a good thing. Ooh, an Extreme 18. Nice. I like the card art on that as well. Very nice. I'm assuming there's an Extreme 17 as well, and maybe an Extreme First Form Cell also. I did not know about them. Extreme 19 again. Alright, something new? Hey, we can break people's arms!
Good luck.
Nice! But I don't have 17. So the twins are split up, you guys. The twins are split up, but 2 multis, 2 sparkings, both of which I wanted. We dodged Super Saiyan Vegeta so far. I'm going to consider this a success. Again, I do still kind of need Android 17 as well. I did buy the starter pack to get 1,000 out of those 2,000 stones, so I do have the Goku. I have everything but 17 now, and it took 2 multis so far. So, again, I do hope that you guys had even better luck than what I had. Comment down below. I'm sorry if the video ran a little bit long. I know some people seem to like the longer videos, but I'm sure not everybody does. But again, I hope you guys do have great luck, a great day, and we'll be back soon with some new team theories. We're going to throw this Krillin on a team with maybe 2 Gokus, both of them. Oh, that would be good. Blue Krillin, red Goku, and yellow Super Saiyan Goku as well. Both Super Saiyan Gokus, and they'll both get buffed if Krillin dies first. Alright, we got some stuff to play with, you guys, so you'll definitely be hearing from me soon. Until then...
Does our hero really have a chance? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.